Hey everybody, Danny Greco, Keller Williams here, and today I want to talk about something that's pretty topical, always is this time of year, and that's how to be a buyer in a very hot seller's market. So if you've heard my videos before, or maybe we've talked individually, you know that I've said the first quarter or maybe even the first third of the year is very competitive for buyers. And the reason for that is inventory when we turn the new year and hit January 1st. January is always the lowest amount of inventory we'll see all year. Reason for that is because November and December, nobody really puts their home on the market. It's in the middle of holiday season, and I think a lot of people generally don't want to be dealing with that large scale of a financial transaction when they're nearing the end of the year, having family, going out of town, holidays, whatever. So we see this big decline in November and December, and then come January, we're left with not a lot of homes on the market. And that conversely seems to be the time where a lot of buyers, maybe off a fresh New Year's resolution or something like that, really seem to get into the market. And so from those months of January through, I'd say probably April or May, things are pretty competitive because the inventory is just not catching up to the demand. So anyway, if you're buying a home that time, or really any time, and it's a competitive situation, you really need to be prepared to give yourself the best competitive advantage you can. And of course, first things first, you need to make sure that you're pre-approved if you're obtaining a loan. And I'd even go as farther to say if you're pre-approved to $750,000, see maybe if you can even bump that up to $800,000, just to make sure you're not you're not leaving any stone unturned. Or if you come across a home that's $725,000, but it looks like it may exceed your $750,000 threshold, can you still afford it if you want to? So of course, first things first, you need to have that pre-approval completed. Other things you can do are doing things like a pre-inspection, which is just meaning you're doing the inspection instead of after being under contract. You're doing it before the offer is submitted. So it's the same inspection. It's not like the inspector gives you a faster, less thorough inspection. It's the same inspection for them. It's just done up front rather than at the back end of the contract, because now you're going to present the seller, assuming everything goes well, with an offer that's now no longer contingent on that inspection. And other contingencies as well that you definitely want to make sure you talk to your broker about. Understand what those contingencies are, how they protect you, and what risks you may be opening yourself up to if you want to waive them in order to make your offer more aggressive to sellers. So other things that you do in this market, if it is a competitive situation, you don't come in with a lowball offer. In fact, you may not even come in with just an asking price offer. For example, I've got a client that liked this home that we had seen. I talked to the agent. I'd already worked up the comparables and numbers and everything for her, and thought that the home was pretty well underlisted and probably had another 5 to 10% in buyer buildup that was going to happen once the sellers reviewed offers. Talked to the listing agent. They already had 6 buyers doing a pre-inspection, plus a number of others that were interested, and my client really was pretty sensitive about not even submitting anything above the asking price, when I just said, then we can move on. This isn't going to be a good use of any of our time, knowing how competitive and eventually bloody this thing is going to get if we're only able to offer the asking price. So just being cognizant of that and the market dynamics and demand around a certain property help as well. Other examples, you need to be really quick in this market to see something once it hits the market, even though that may come on the market on a Wednesday, have an open house on Saturday or Sunday, and they're not going to review offers until Monday. Getting there quick is better because obviously you get to see it beforehand, but most importantly, if you do really like it, it gives you time to schedule that pre-inspection. If you want to do that in advance, it gives you more time to do that. If you come to the open house on a Saturday or Sunday and they've already had a few pre-inspections take place, it's going to be difficult booking an inspector on such short notice, and you're really kind of behind the 8 ball at that point. And I'd say even most importantly too, and what I've already seen start to happen a lot this year, buyers may not wait for that offer review date. A seller can say, hey, we're going to look to review offers on Monday, but a buyer might present something on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, anytime before that might be too good for them to pass up. So they may jump on that offer before you even got the chance to see the home or even compete for it. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But there's a lot of other variables and factors that can go into this thing. So just be in close contact with your agent, really know your options, really get a sense for what the heat and temperature for every property is like before you jump in, and you'll be comfortable with the decision you make. So again, any other questions on this or anything else you'd like me to answer, list it in the comments below and let me know if there's anything else you need. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.